Hi Thomas, I wanted to go over with you about adding posts to your website and showing you a little bit about formatting. Always address use as my guide is simple is better. So if you're not sure about something, don't do it. So clean and simple, make everything much nicer. So this is your default dashboard, and I just selected to go look at all posts. And I'm going to go ahead and edit this post that you gave me this afternoon. So let's go ahead and see. I want you to see what this looks like now. So you can see it's kind of, it's got paragraph marks, but it's hard to read. So if I come in, one of the first things, I think we can remove this. I don't think it really adds anything to the article. So one of the things I wanted to show you was how to emphasize information. This is very much, if you work in the visual window here, which is where you want to work, this is very much like working in a very simple version of Word. So to emphasize certain areas, you can make them bold, you can make them italic, but for section headers, it's really nice to use headings. And they give you several headings to choose from here. And this is used only for the most important things. It's rare that you will ever need to use that. This is like you really want to get some attention. But for just separating out content and making it easy to go through quickly, the way that your text is formatted, this heading 4 works the best. So I'm going to select that. But you can see that it affected more than what I just had highlighted. And the reason for that is because there's no break between this. It's treating it all as one piece of text. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that again and remove the formatting and put in an actual paragraph break and hit a return. So now I can go select it and add the heading, and it just affects the thing that I wanted it to. And I've done some of the others, but I just wanted to keep these two so that we can kind of see a number of things while we're in here. The other thing that you'll notice is that here categories is selected, and this is because if you break things into categories, it makes it easier for people searching on your site, and also when it's scanned by Google and other search engines, then it gives them kind of like something to hang on to, so that they have an immediate sense of what your content is about. And if you go through, the other thing I wanted to do, you had this nice little asterisk questions, so I thought that would be nice to add an italic to. So let's go ahead and update. And I want to show you now what your content looks like with just those few changes. We hardly did anything, and it just took a minute. And you can see I can do a quick scan. I read this and I do a quick scan of that, and I get an immediate sense of what your content is about. Now, one thing I will say is that this is a long paragraph for online. This is about the size of chunk of information that's easy to read. You have to remember people are reading on computer screens, so it's harder to keep track of. And they're also oftentimes on phone or other devices. So the smaller bits of information is just easier to digest. Otherwise, it just turns into a very long wall of words, especially if you think on your phone, somebody trying to read this. So go back to Edit Post. Now this has been published, but if you were just working on it for the first time and it hadn't been published, this right here would say draft. Let's go ahead and we're going to just change it for a minute to draft so you can see what that looks like. Now in draft mode, it's only visible to you if you're logged in. It's not visible to the public at all. So you can start writing in here and keep working on things over time, and it won't be shared with anyone until you actually hit publish. And this now says update, but if it had never been published before, it would say publish. The other thing I want to show you in your article, I'm not going to break it into smaller chunks. This is your writing, so I don't want to assume that, but I would recommend you do that. But the other thing we can look at right now is adding links. You'll be citing articles and different sources a lot, so this is very easy to add to your documents. You highlight it here. If it weren't a link and you had a link somewhere else, just say from a web page, copy the link, and then what text you want people to click on to get to that page, highlight that. But in this instance, you actually have the web page here as part of your content. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm careful to not pick up a parentheses or any other text or spaces except for the link. Otherwise, you'll get a broken link. And you add that. And I'm going to add a title here. Let me see, because I think, let's go ahead and update and preview so you can see what this looks like now. So here's our preview. Come down here, and here's your link. It's underlined, so it's easy to find in the page, underlined. You can always smart to check your links. This goes right to the document, so that's good. And I can use my back button. And then at the bottom, this little italic is kind of like a finish. Not all articles will need that or call for it, but you did have this kind of nice closing statement, so I'm just calling extra attention to it. Now look at up there, I added SEO capabilities to your site today, and so we're coming up happy. So let's go back and just check that real fast and see what kind of things. Sometimes you need to play with your language a little bit and how the order of your words. I don't get too crazy about it because it starts sounding very stilted, and I think it's more important to have it be user-friendly than search engine friendly. But you can play with it a little bit to get your green marks here, to get your SEO marks up as high as possible. So you just come straight down here, and you can see here that it's taken a snippet preview because I've done some work already, and I'm not going to change it because we have good marks. But it took the discover the right patent attorney. It took the beginning part of your statement here, and I have some default SEO info here, which it's also picking that up. It's Van Zandt intellectual property law, and so that is and the focus keyword I put from the article, not about you, but the focus keyword, which is mentioned here in the title, and also again here in the first statement, is patent attorney. And that's primarily what this is about, is finding a good patent attorney. So that's your keyword, and so that's getting good marks. And then this SEO title, you can leave, it will automatically pick it up. If you didn't like that and you wanted to edit it, you could. And then a meta description,